Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Purposeful Conversations with Emmy here in the Pami Code Facebook group. I'm very excited about our conversation today because life can be quite complicated sometimes, and I think we need to live life simple at this point. Try to live a minimalist life. But for some people, this is not an easy thing to do. So I invited our special guest today. She's the Chief Inspiring Officer at Life Simply Zen. And we're going to talk today about living the minimalist life and how to do it. So please welcome Lesley Leong. Hi, Lesley. Good morning.
Hi, Amy. Good morning. Thank you so much for inviting me to share my story and to share this beautiful aspect with you and also to connect with the like-minded people in the world. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
I think this would be a very interesting conversation and a useful one as well, because I know that a lot of people might be living in too much. There's too much excess in the world right now, and I think talking about a minimalist living would be a useful, purposeful conversation. That's why I call it purposeful conversations with Emmy. But before we get to
Thank
that,
you.
let me first ask you, to those people who don't know who you are, who are you and what do you do? Tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay, thank you, Amy. So I'm Lesley Leong. I'm originally from Perth, Australia, born in the UK. Um, I love to inspire people and others to create better versions of themselves through online education. Um, I am a minimalist and essentialist enthusiast. Love keeping my life simple, and my daily mantra, as I always practice, is I make my life easy and keep it simple. I'm also the founder and creator of Life Simply Zen. Life Simply Zen is a place and space created to inspire you and to calm your mind down to focus on the essentials in life. By being a minimalist, being energetically inspired, simplifying your life and organizing to create systems that suits you, it helps you to, yeah, just be you. And the whole point of being simplified and being an essentialist is you're not bogged down by complicated things around you in your environment. You're actually taking control of your environment and your space.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. I mean, it's great that you created this life simply Zen, because it will help people to live a minimalist life. But what was your journey like? How did you get to this point where you created life simply Zen?
Yeah, a lot of my methods and systems and wisdom came from my late grandmother, Rosie Poon. Um, she has, bless her soul, she passed away in 2015. She was my inspiration and my role model throughout my life, throughout my childhood. When I was growing up, my grandmother took care of me while my parents were away most of the time in the UK, in London. And you know, she's always been very systematic, very, very clean, and very essential in her life in terms of, you know, things and being mindful of the things that she uses in her life and systems that work for her. I remember when I was young, she used to tell me, Lesley, when you want to get ready in the morning, make sure your bag is packed, your homework is done, and your shoes and school, your school uniforms all ready to go in the morning. I see the logic in that because if you're able to just focus on the essential things of what you need to prepare for the next day or what your plans are, it's also being very present in the moment and also
Mm,
being very focused on and not having to think too much of what you need to do. It becomes a very
easy.
systematic system, easy.
Mm,
Yeah, and the other thing as well is, I've obviously brought this on to, I'm now 40 years old. Throughout my career, my life, being a lawyer, qualified lawyer for 16 years and in medicine and also doing marketing and so forth, I've changed a lot of my career and streamlined my businesses using the same systems as my grandmother has taught me. Um, as you can see, I'm a little bit of a dinosaur. Throughout my lifetime, you know, technology has obviously expanded and changed so much. You know, we used to have the CD-ROMs and the tape recorders, and I'm not sure if the millennials out there know what a CD-ROM might be, or
Cassette.
actual, you know, a cassette. Yes, remember the cassette with the little pencil that you have to rewind
Yeah.
and wind back. Yes, yes. So yeah, so I'm a big believer in you know, streamlining your processes and having to keep up the times, but keeping it very simple. I mean, I've been through my fair share of pain and suffering in terms of you know, there are times in my career where I was made redundant in my job, you know, being an A-type personality and having to be performing at
Perfect.
my A game all the time. Sometimes you just get into a, you know, I'm not saying a bad habit, but it comes to a point where you're not thinking, you know, subconsciously what you are doing. That I ended up, my cup was really full, and I ended up breaking down and went into, you know, anxiety and a little bit of depression, and, you know, because life wasn't meaningful anymore, you know. And it took me some time to actually, you know, say it's okay to go through this stage, you know, it's okay to feel pain, and why I'm starting questioning myself, why am I going through this? You know, who am I, you know, anymore, you know, like I was just going with the herd, you know, the where everyone's just doing, like, you know, just build your assets, you know, be this, be that, and not really finding who I am and what is meaningful to me. So throughout the times when I went into a downfall in, you know, fear, anxiety, and depression, there were simple methods that I could apply that even my grandmother taught me. Things like just being mindful at the point of time, just being present with what you've got, and just being really inspired by who you are. Sometimes in life, when we are, as I said, anxiety is, you know, focusing on like the past or the future, you're not really present, and therefore your brain, I call it the amygdala attack of your monkey brain, goes
Yes,
you know,
it
telling
just
you
goes crazy. It's too much, right?
exactly. You have, yes, you become so overwhelmed, you become so you know, so over consumed with your thoughts that you have no longer in control of your actual emotions and your mind and your body and your spirit. So throughout my life, when I was going through all those processes, I've learned to apply simple steps of helping me get back to me.
Mm.
Knowing myself, I'm a very bubbly person, you know, cutting the noise that my external factors, as I call it, because the external factors can be the world, your
Mm.
environment, the news, people around you, and it affects your mind, body, spirit, as I say, because it affects your energy. So cutting down the noise of the world, I had to just come back to me. And by coming back
Down
to
to the
me,
basics. Yeah.
exactly, it's just going back to the basics, just coming back to me and knowing, you know, who I am, where I'm at, what can I do at this point in time. That it's just basic, you know, like free universal gifts that you've been given in life, to just be you, and to be, you know, streamlining processes that suits you.
I
Yes.
love that.
So
I mean, when we talk
thank
about
you.
minimalist living, sometimes people usually relate it to material things, like only
Correct.
having a few things in your life. But minimalist living is more than just that. Well, that's quite ironic, right? But it's also it translates more into your life. It's not just about the material things, but you know what you also keep in your mind. You know the what is important and not so important in your life, and really going back, as you've said, to the basics. um
Correct.
it's not just material things, it's also the things that you do, the things that you worry about, the things, really understanding what's important to you, who you are, and what's, what's meaningful for you. Is that correct?
That's correct. And I just wanted to share. Minimalism is a very broad definition for a lot of people, isn't it? You know, some people can go to extreme. They can be like, oh, just have one fork, one spoon, and one plate. You know, and then some people, you know, they even there's people out there that actually count the items of things, you know. But I just wanted to share with you, there's a couple of people that I follow in the industry who focuses on minimalism and being essential. And one of them is Joshua Becker, and he's the author and blog and creator of Becoming Minimalist, and also the No Sidebar movement. So just want to educate people a little bit of how you could actually, you know, fit into the category of minimalism, because if you talk about minimalism in just the broad term, it can be quite, it can be defined as anything. So there's actually 5 flavors of minimalism, as we've seen through Joshua Becker's article. So one is the essentialist, and the essentialist ascribes to the philosophy of fewer but better. So do fewer things, but do them well. Own fewer things, but choose things that will last. Wear fewer, you know, clothes or things, but wear them with purpose and meaning, you know. Like I'm very happy with, you know, being essential to have a scarf because it keeps me warm, and things like that, you know. Essentialism is a minimalism that focuses on quality, not quantity. The next type of minimalism is the experientialist. So instead of embracing materialism, experientialism is about collecting experiences. And experientialists will normally invest in memories and free up resources for activities instead of things.
Experiences, yeah.
Exactly. It could be having a nice massage. It could be having a bath. It could be simple things like, you know, obviously if we're not in lockdown anymore, you can do skydiving. You can do anything that gives you the experience. So your focus on the way you spend your money or the way you spend your time is actually on experiences. And then the third one is the enoughness. Okay, being enough is things being enough. So the enoughism describes minimalism in terms of having enough, not having or not having it at all. And the enoughness finds peace. So the person who has enough finds peace in voluntarily using enough and no more in any category of food, clothing, the home size. You know, that's why there's a bit of a tiny movement going on in the industry right now. Storage space, you know, things that is enough, you know. I mean, obviously, everything is defined differently to everyone, and it's up to you to sort of, you know, which category would I fall in, and how could I strive to be that point. The fourth point is the eco-minimalist. So we can see a big change in the environment recently with the way we are now in lockdown and the way we travel and the way pollution and how what we do affects the environment. So the eco-minimalist pursues a life of less consumption in order to reduce your impact on the earth. You know, as you can see, there's movements of zero waste and being very mindful of not using plastic bags and carrying your own bags to a grocery store. And yeah, so the focus is less on the benefits of the individual household and more on the bigger environmental picture. So it sort of opened up your expansion of who you are to be mindful of others as well and the world that you live in. And that's right, the world you're creating for your children and the future. And the fifth point is the soul minimalist. So we're talking about the soul minimalist is cherishing stillness of the soul, works to keep your mental and spiritual clutter to a minimum. So this is quite an important practice of quiet mindfulness and stillness and listening, really listening to what's important in here. You know, what's important in here, in your heart, in your gut, in your soul. And, you know, applying different types of minimalism in your life, it's a very different for everyone. Everybody's got a different way. However, if you intentionally eliminate the things that you don't need and make room for what's important to you, you're actually allowing experiences and allowing gratitude and manifesting the things that suits your energy and suits you. And and also, it has a big impact on your relationships and your finances and the wider world. So I utilize, as you can see on my catchphrase on my website, I actually utilize minimalism, essentialism by creating systems that work for me. That's why becoming systematic helps a lot in creating things. So, for example, I just wanted to share with you mind, body, spirit, me. So, with your mind, how that works is, I apply my BJ method. I know it sounds kind of corny, but I call it my BJ because it's like a method that I use. You don't have to use all four, but you could use a number of a number of combinations. So my BJ method is meditation, yoga, breathing, and journaling. And meditation can be from 5 to 10 minutes to a couple of hours, depending on how you want to choose it. It helps to calm your mind down. It actually helps you to be present. And it also gives you the enlightenment and the creativity to come up with solutions that you're having problems in your life right now. So I love meditation because it really just keeps you that stillness and that joy of just releasing it and just being, obviously, to reach the point of meditation, that I wanted to share was that journaling is very important. So journaling can be a couple of forms. One way of journaling is actually emptying your mind. So I do a brain dump.
Yeah.
So a brain dump journal is actually, you can draw.
And it's just handwritten, and you just really express and let the thoughts out of your head.
Exactly. You are just releasing that pressure of all that clutter in your head, all that noise, all that monkey chatter. You're not getting rid of it. You're just sort of like a computer system. You're kind of releasing it out so that you're able to express the emotions out of it. You're able to get your mind cleared out. Be able to just empty that data in the head into a list, into a, whether it be an emotion, an anger, or anxiety, whether it's depression, they say it's inner anger, and actually emptying it into a journal. The other journal I really love is just the gratitude journal, and I just wanted to share with you, if I could share my screen with you.
Sure.
Let me have a look and see if I can share my screen. All right. Can you still hear me?
It says that it has started screen sharing, but I think it's still loading.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, it does take a bit of time sometimes. There it is.
Sorry. That's all right. So I just wanted to share with everyone that you can do a simple journal. Being paperless, I've used an iPad Pro to do a lot of my paperless things. I used to keep journals with full of book journals and all that, but because of having to move a lot of times in my life and having my passion
and just
to be
keep them all on technology.
It's actually location freedom and having the lightness of the feeling of being essential and minimalist. I've used an iPad Pro. Now this program here is it's called let me have a look. It's called where is it? Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. It's one of those. It's called Note Shelf too. Sorry. All right. So what you can do every morning. So let's say today is the Thursday. So I can write that down. Thursday.
I love that.
2nd of April, 2020. And simple things. You can, like some people, they said, how do I start journaling? Like, what prompts do I do? And this is a very, very simple morning routine. You can say, I'm grateful for, 1, 2, 3. And you can say, I'm grateful for being healthy. I am grateful for connecting with others. I am grateful for um, the frontline doctors
Mm.
saving lives at the moment.
Mm.
Yeah, and what would make today great? Simple things like you know um, having to spend time with my family, be able to create um, beautiful food to eat, being able to connect with others, and daily affirmations. I am, oops, don't know what's going on here, but it can be, I am safe, I am healthy, I am abundant. So these are simple things that anyone can do in their life. If you don't have an iPad Pro, that's fine. You can use paper. You can even draw. And I love drawing. I love art in a lot of ways, because creative art, sometimes you can't put things into words, like in
That's
feelings, and
right.
you can
It's
always
it's an
you can
expression.
yeah, you can always draw life, beautiful life, or maybe you're angry, you can even express that. So the other thing was I was wanted to share was I always do an evening routine if I can.
Yes, yes.
And it's just a reflection of the day, like what has happened during the day. It keeps you on purpose. So three amazing things that happened today, you can write that down. And how could I have made today even better? Because I'm a big believer in making systems better and being better. So what could you do with that? And that's what I wanted to share with you. And let me see if I can. You see that?
Yes.
Cool. I will see if I can share my other screen. Where do I share the screen?
I love the gratitude journal, because when we air this conversation, we're actually in the middle of the 10 days of gratitude challenge. So it's
Oh,
really good.
fantastic.
It's really timely that you're able to share this with us. I have to say myself that on day one, the first task really is to start a gratitude journal, and I hope that to anyone who's watching this right now, that you've already started your gratitude journal. I for one, I do my gratitude journal with my son every night, and it's
Oh,
it's
fantastic.
fascinating that when I ask him, so what are you grateful for today, the things that he says he's grateful for are mostly the things that happened during the day. So he would say something like, I'm grateful that I saw my friend today, or I'm grateful that I ate this delicious food. They're really quite basic, but
Mm,
it really helps me
yeah.
to remember that these are the important things that even a child recognizes, and is grateful
Yes.
for what he can see, and what he's experiencing. So I do that with my son every night. It's part of our evening routine. And then we
Yes.
also have the visualization exercise. We look at our vision board together. So in the
Oh,
past I do
fantastic.
that on my own, but now that I have a
Yes.
child, we do it together, and I actually love it, because we get to share our um our gratitude and our aspirations and our dreams together, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Like, it's really inspiring that you're sharing that with your child. I mean, to start them from young to be grateful for simple things, it really helps you and help them in their growth as well. Like, I mean, we're quite a sport community. I mean, I saw a couple of times on Facebook that, there's a kid complaining about, I want to, go out, I want to do this, I want to eat KFC, or, things that they're so used to, but the mother has to sort of express to the child that we can't because we're in lockdown.
Mm.
It's sort of like, sometimes we take those things for granted. We eat out and we hang out with friends and all that. But sometimes we take for granted the simple things that we have at home. that we can be grateful for, and it sort of brings you back to present again, and not having the external fear or external environment factors affecting you. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing.
So
Yeah.
what is this?
Oh, okay. So I wanted to share. So this was the the image I was sharing. I wanted to share with you, like, sometimes energies can simple energies can affect you. I'm not sure you can see that.
We're actually seeing
My laptop screen.
your script.
Oh,
Um,
sorry. Oh, sorry. Okay. How do I? Let me have a look.
Maybe you need to
Okay.
change the what
Setting.
window you're sharing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Does that help?
There it is. Yes, there you
Okay.
go.
Fantastic. So I just wanted to share. Yeah. So sometimes energy can really affect a person, your environment factors. So like right now, if you can see, I've got a little candle going on. Usually I'll use
Wow.
a sage stick, or I'm not sure if anybody know what the sage stick is. So it's like a bit of a sage energy kind of thing. It's sort of like a candle or an incense kind of burning thing. It's just to, apparently it's very healthy because it's antiviral, and it also clears the energy in your room. So I've got a candle going on because it creates that calm environment. It creates my positive energy in the room that I could pass on onto the wall, and also creating a safe space. So also in the background, you probably can't hear this, but I've got my iPhone going on, and I've got a energy frequency of 417 hertz going on in the background, and that
Mm.
clears energy and removes subconscious blockages. It's a free app you can get on your Apple. It's called SoundCloud, and there is beautiful people who are sharing beautiful music and different energy songs and tones that helps to create that environment. And sometimes I just I play that in the background, even at the very lowest frequency, so it could help me sleep, or it could help
So
me just refocus.
are these sounds these particular solfeggio, is that how?
Frequency.
Yeah,
Yes, solfeggio
are
frequencies.
they
Yeah.
sounds?
Yeah, so there are sounds. They are incorporated in music. So, for example, I'm not sure you can hear this. Can you hear that?
All right, I see.
Yeah,
Okay. I've never heard of this before. So it's fascinating. I love learning new things and in these conversations. So you have
yeah,
an app called SoundCloud that you downloaded, and you have these different frequencies that you put in your space.
correct,
And they have very specific purposes that raise your vibration.
correct. Yes, because we're all human of energy, aren't we? We're all connected by energy. I mean, like, for example, if someone's negative, or you watch a lot of negative things, you tend to, because we're human, a creature of habits, and we're a creature of followers, we tend to pick that on, and we become
Yes.
negative, become down. Or like, for example, like now recently, about the news going on in the world, I mean, it's just someone's dying, like,
Mm.
everything's doom and gloom. So sometimes, to protect and to control and to create a minimal and safe environment, sometimes it's just putting on certain frequencies and energies to change your vibration of your energy, so that you can get back to center, get back to balance. And I just wanted to sort of share this with the world, because these things actually do work. I
It's
wanted to share.
fascinating that you mentioned that. If I can just share what I
Yeah,
experience
yeah,
about this, because
sure.
my husband, he loves watching the Greek news. He's Greek, by the way. So first
Oh,
thing in
okay.
the morning, I would come down, and I don't know what it is, but there's something in the air that makes me feel very stressed out, because I
Mm,
don't know if you watch the Greek news. In the morning, they they talk at the same time. Three or four people talking about a particular issue that's going on in the country, but they have this really stressed out vibe. And
correct.
I tell
Yeah.
him, it's early in the morning. I come in and I hear this. First of all, I don't understand what they are saying because it's in Greek, but I can sense the tension. I can sense the stress, and because they are all talking so high pitched, three or four people at the same time, I know that it might be partly cultural. This is how they express themselves. But for me, I can feel something in the air that is not, I
Yes.
cannot see it, I cannot touch it, but it feels a bit polluted. So,
Mm.
I ask him, I if you want to listen to that, listen, you can put your headphones on, but do we really have to expose ourselves to this every morning? Can we have a sense of calm and peace in the morning, just really literally to clear the air? Sometimes I have to open the
Mm.
windows because I feel that
Yes.
there's something
Yes.
in the energy that I couldn't really describe, but it feels polluted. And it was because
Yes.
of these tension and stress that came out from the news. I don't know, is that what it is?
Yes. Yes. So you see, your environment comes in. There's so many forms of what can create your environment. Correct. So you've got the mind, the outside external factors, your internal factors. A lot of things, a lot of energy comes from different forms. For example, when people are posting people dying, you can sense death, you can sense sadness and grief. Um, Sometimes, when you let the news going on blasting for hours and
Mm.
hours, you sort of bring that energy into your home because yes, we are aware of the situation. Yes, I feel empathy and I'm sorry for what's going on. However, sometimes you have to shield your energy and protect your energy by just turning it off and just coming back to center. And, the world vibrates with energy. I mean, like all our cells in our body vibrates with energy. When you're sad and when you're negative, you pass it on to others as well. Being mindful of your energy is also a very important skill to have. I mean, that's why for me, our rule in our house is pretty much, to turn off the news and be educated. Yes, I mean, the government's doing what they need to do. We can, watch the news when we need to about things like, how long is the lockdown? What do we need to do if we need to travel? What is essential? You see, they're talking about essentialism as well. What is essential and all that. And if you need to go to doctors and all that, yes, we're aware of that. However, the more information of negative news coming in, it doesn't really serve a purpose in your life because you are just allowing that negative energy coming in. And then it affects your mood, it affects your mind, your cells. And because you see that people are getting the COVID-19 or people are getting sick, sometimes we don't learn to stop that and say, hang on a minute, I don't need that anymore in my life. You will tend to pick that on and then you
Mm.
become sick. So I'm not sure if you heard of Louise Hay. Louise Hay is a beautiful lady. She's the creator and founder of Hay House
Mm-hmm.
Publishing, and she created a book with different illnesses that that affect. So, for example, if women with breast cancer, she noticed that sometimes people with breast cancer tend to be, because they are caring so much for others, they don't care for themselves, and that's why they get cancer, in the breast. There's all these different levels of energy that we actually create for ourselves. For example, if I see people having COVID-19, I'll be like, oh my God, am I having a cough? Am I having a cold? You're creating things that you don't need to create when you're actually just fine.
Mm.
So yes, I do want to share, like, there are all energy frequency. I think there's like a frequency of 528 hertz, and
Mm-hmm.
it's all about repairing your DNA. It's all about restoring equilibrium, and there's also a universal energy. Like, if you believe in the universe, we're all connected. And if 90% of the world is in a negative state of mind,
That's the
we are going to be
vibration that
affected.
yes, of
That's
course.
right. You're going to pick that up. And so being mindful of your energy and is very important to amplify that, and that's why meditation helps So with that SoundCloud I was sharing with you, there's not only different frequencies you can look up to. You can also look up for meditation. You can look up gratitude meditation, simple things. You can even just change your music,
Yeah, to
like
change
when you said
the energy
the
in the air
energy,
with the
right?
sound.
With the sound, it's just so simple. It's free. It's simple. You're given, your eyes, your hearing. You got given life, okay, and you're very blessed, okay. There's a lot of things that we can change just by breathing, sound, meditation, energy, candles. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I really wanted to share with this frequency. So I always play that in my background so that I'm protecting my energy and who I'm sharing and allowing my energy with others to be to be reciprocated, like giving and receiving as well. Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank
Thank
you
you.
very much for sharing that with us. And I
You're
get the
welcome.
sense
Yeah.
that your grandmother is an amazing person, and
Oh,
she
thank you.
really impacted on your life, and shared with you all these things that and how you practice it in your day-to-day life, and now that you're sharing it with others as well. So thank you very
Yes.
much for gracing us with your time and your experience and your expertise in this area.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
people want to connect with you, where can they find you?
Yep. So please follow me on Life Simply Zen. I've got a website as well, and I would like to invite people to my Facebook group, Life Simply Zen Soulful Tribe, for more videos and things. It's simple. Um, and I'll continue to create moments for you meditation. If you're not have been following that, it's only 5 to 10 minutes of meditation. But in the next couple of weeks, I'll be sharing videos on 11 steps to simplify your life on the Udemy platform. Udemy is a like a teachable platform of education, and also my Facebook group page, Life Simply Zen Soulful Tribe. And I just wanted to share with you the final screen share if I can.
Sure,
Let me
sure.
have a look and see if I can connect to my iPad again. Um, Hopefully this works now. Can you see my screen? Coming up now.
Yes.
Yeah. All
11
right.
easy
Yeah,
steps to you simplified. Awesome.
that's right. Yeah. So you simplified is um, starting with you. You because you.
Yes.
To everybody. Yeah. So you is use better habits. S is simplify morning routines. I is inspire supportive relationships. M is mindfulness and meditation. P, productive time and management. L is living with less and less is more. I, invest your money wisely. F is food simplicity. I is include physical activity daily. E, explore your happiness. And D is digital detox and management. Yeah,
I
so I'll
think that's
be
very important. Yes.
exactly. Digital detox is, cutting up the news and just finding ways to simplify your life, and through iPad or minimizing your footprint and carbon footprint with paper, especially. Don't get me wrong with paper. I mean, I do have a handful of books that I still keep and use, but I'm very mindful of how I use them and cherish them. So yeah, that's what I would love to impart to the world in the next couple of weeks.
Awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Lesley. And to
Yeah.
everyone who's watching this, I hope that you took away some useful messages here, some really practical strategies as well from Lesley. I mean, living a minimalist life is something that we actually also aspire, me and my husband in the future, we do want to live a sustainable life, to live in the farm, to live the simple life, grow our own
Wow.
food and be self-sustaining as a family
Yes.
unit. But with this conversation, we are reminded to actually ask ourselves, what is really important to us, and really try to gain clarity, away from the clutter, in understanding the bare necessities, go back to basics, and really be grateful for what we have, understanding when is enough, whatever enough is for you, because that will give you joy, that will give you satisfaction, instead of always trying to reach for more and more and more. when you recognize that, you have enough, you actually feel joy and you're grateful, and it just gives you a sense of calm when you actually get there. So
Exactly.
again, thank you very much, Leslie, and thanks
No, you're
everyone for
welcome.
tuning in, and we'll catch up again next time for another purposeful conversations with Emmy here in the Pami Code Facebook group. Until then, everyone, take care and bye for now.
Thank
Bye.
you. Stay safe. Bye.
Bye.